Good morning. My name is Rachel Maxwell, and I am a worship associate at the Edmonds Unitarian Universalist congregation.
Good morning. My name is Cindy Oliar, and I am a worship associate at the Edmonds Unitarian Universalist congregation.
We are so glad you have joined us here in the hall
and through your screen. Welcome to the Edmonds Unitarian Universalist congregation. We are a pluralistic faith community of seekers, humanists, theists, atheists, agnostics, and everything in between. We are committed to treating each other with compassion and respect, learning from one another, and sharing our resources to help build a more just world.
We gather weekly to connect, to wrestle with life's big questions, and to rededicate ourselves to living into our Unitarian Universalist values of justice, equity, generosity, pluralism, transformation, interdependence, and love.
Whether this is your first Sunday with us or you've been here more Sundays than you could ever count, we are so grateful you've chosen to be here this morning. Welcome.
If this is your first time with us on site this morning and you have not yet had a chance to visit the welcome desk in the narthex out there, we invite you to do so after the service. Our wonderful welcome team will be glad to answer your questions about our congregation.
If you're joining us online, please go to our website at euuc.org and click on the tab that says, I'm new. Then click on What Are You Interested In to learn more about our opportunities to get involved in our congregation.
And as we begin our service, we remind you to please silence your phones. And we invite everyone to remember that we welcome all children for all parts of our worship service, and that the noises they make are sacred and holy. And here are two quick announcements about events happening in and around EUUC.
The first one is the Edmonds Pride Festival, which will be held on Saturday, June 27th from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Edmonds Civic Center playfield. It will be an afternoon of joy, connection, and celebration for all ages. EUUC will have a table which will include some fun arts and craft activities. Please swing by to say hi to us and support the vibrant LGBTQ+ community here in Edmonds. And the second announcement is the rummage sale. Get you and your stuff ready for the fantastic and fun rummage sale August 14th and 15th at EUUC. Donations accepted from Sunday, August 9th after the service through noon on Wednesday, August 12th. Please read This Week at EUUC, the abbreviation is TWAE, or circle for donation guidelines. And now we'll open our service with our land acknowledgement. Let us remember that our congregational home, this site on which we are gathered this morning, is placed on the ancestral lands of the Snohomish people who have inhabited this region of the Salish Sea since time immemorial, and who continue their livelihoods on these lands today. May we all live and learn humbly as allies to the Snohomish.
Each week, we commit and complete a sign and a signal of our faith tradition, Unitarian Universalism, by placing a flame in the bowl of this chalice, week after week, month after month, year after year. We light this chalice to symbolize the warmth of this community and the flame of our hope, which burns brightly still, even in the midst of challenging and uncertain times. We light this chalice, symbol of our faith, alive in this world, naming our vision of collective liberation and daring to remember each other into beloved community. So let us now say our affirmation. Feel free to say it out loud or just listen along. We need each other, and so we come to this place to work and dance and laugh and cry and think. We call ourselves a religious community not because this place is in itself holy ground, but because what we do here and say here and are here make it so. So let it be. So now we invite you to rise in body or spirit as you are comfortable to join in singing our opening hymn, number 128 in the gray hymnal. The hymn is "For All That Is Our Life," and the words will also be projected on the screens. All right, for our time for all ages, I invite all of our children, youth, and their grown-ups to join me on our rainbow rug for today's story. Awesome. All right, any other children want to come up? Testing, testing. How to keep this thing up. Oh, perfect. Okay, testing, testing. Thank you. All right. Woo! Thank you so much for coming here today and being here and joining me for today's story, which is called Beach Day Blues for Wally. This boy is Wally, and the cat's name is Murphy.
And Wally learns a breathing exercise to help him so that he does not get overwhelmed when he experiences uncomfortable feelings such as sadness, anger, disappointment, frustration. So just before we read the book, I'm going to now teach you this breathing exercise. So first, I invite you to get comfortable. And I would like you to bring your attention to your breath. Watch your breath as it goes in, and watch your breath as it goes out. If you feel like closing your eyes, if that helps you really bring your full attention to just your breath, you may do so. Again, watch your breath as it goes in, and watch your breath when it goes out. And one more time, watch your breath as it goes in, and watch your breath as it goes out. Good, you may open your eyes. And now I need both of my hands, so I'm going to need to put this back. See what happens. Okay, testing. Okay, we'll make it work. I'm watching my breath as this continues. Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Okay, now I invite you, everybody, kids and adults, to bring your arms up over your head like this. Imagine this is the sun. And you can feel the warmth of the sun relaxing your body, relaxing your breath. And again, watch your breath as it goes in, and watch your breath as it goes out. Now gently rub your hands back and forth. The wind is here. And the wind is getting a little bit louder and a little bit faster. But still notice if you can still pay attention to your breath, even though it's really windy. Breathing in, breathing out. And now a little bit of rain has come. You can tap your legs. And the rain is getting a little harder, a little faster, and it's pouring out. Oh my gosh, it's really, really hard. I just saw lightning. One clap for lightning. Ready? Back to the rain. I just heard thunder. 2 stomps for thunder. 1, 2. Back to the rain. And again, even though it's raining hard, see if you can pay attention to your breath going in and going out. And the rain is getting softer, softer. It's drizzling. And now there's just a gentle wind. And the sun is back, and you can feel the warmth of the sun relaxing your body and your breath. Maybe your breath gets a little slower, a little softer, and you may put your hands in your lap. And now let's find out what happens to Wally. Beach Day Blues for Wally. Wally eagerly watched the sun going down. He was so excited because tomorrow was the first time this summer his family could take a trip to the beach. Put your finger on your nose if you like going to the beach. When nighttime finally came, Wally lay in bed but was having a hard time falling asleep thinking about the beach. He couldn't wait to swim, picnic, and play in the sand. Exhausted from the anticipation of the beach day, Wally finally fell asleep. But when he woke up the next morning, Wally heard a gentle tapping sound of rain and saw water streaming down his window. Wally's heart sank. This is not fair. I want to be at the beach today. Wally dragged himself out of bed and went to the living room, where he found his brother Donnie reading comic books. He wished he was reading under a cool towel fort he made at the beach. He saw a sister, Amy, playing with sand art. He wished he was playing in the real sand at the beach. "Good morning, Wally. I'm sorry the rain canceled our beach day. Would you like to help make breakfast for everyone?" Dad asked. "No, thank you. He'd rather be at the beach having a picnic." "I want the sun to come out. Rainy days are boring." Feeling tired and defeated, even though he had not been physically active, Wally threw himself onto his bed, careful not to disturb Murphy, the family cat. "This whole day is ruined, Murphy." Wally noticed then how peaceful Murphy looked. He could feel Murphy's soft and slow breath on the back of his hand. He could also sense how relaxed Murphy's body felt when petting him. Wally then closed his eyes and paid attention to his own breath. "I can watch my breath, be calm and at peace." Wally's breath began to slow down. His body began to relax. The disappointment he was feeling even faded. When Wally opened his eyes, he noticed his swimsuit hanging on a chair. Distracting thoughts came back. He was not going to the beach today. A feeling of sadness came. His breathing quickened, and his face and hands tensed. He also felt angry that going to the beach may not happen at all this summer. Wally closed his eyes again and went back to observing his breath. "I can watch my breath, be calm and at peace." Again, his breathing slowed down. His body relaxed, and the uncomfortable feelings faded. "I can watch my breath, be calm and at peace, no matter what is here." Feeling much more relaxed, Wally opened his eyes. He looked around his room. This time, he noticed things he hadn't been paying attention to before. He'd been too focused on what he couldn't have. He saw his magic cards, books, rock collection, drum, basketball, journal, and colored pencils. He saw his boots, his hat, his raincoat, and his gloves. Still aware of his breathing, when he looked out the window, he didn't see the rain as something bad anymore. "Hey, Mom," Wally suddenly called out. Mom came to Wally's bedroom door. "What's going on?" "If I wear my rain gear, could I ask my friend Mason to come over to play outside?" "Yes, that's a great idea," replied his mom. Wally and Mason had a great time splashing in puddles, listening to the rain tap the leaves, and catching raindrops in their mouths. They even spotted an owl in a tree. Dad said, "Looks like you found a way to be at peace with the rainy day, Wally." "Yeah, the rain stopped us from going to the beach today, but once I welcomed the rain, I started to see what was here. I can watch my breath, be calm and at peace, no matter what is here." So I'm going to teach you that song now. I'll sing the first line. I can watch my breath, I can watch my breath, be calm and at peace, be calm and at peace, no matter what is here. No matter what is here. All together, I can watch my breath, be calm and at peace, no matter what is here. Thank you so much for listening to the story and for singing. We also have a special gift for the kids as you walk out today. It is a Murphy cat. It's to help you remember that you can be calm and at peace no matter what is happening. And if you forget, you can remember the breathing exercise that we learned from Wally. So as you're walking out, please see Michael here and pick your Wally cat out of the basket if you would like one. And so now we will also sing our children out to their activities. Wonderful. And now a moment of peace. As we ground ourselves even more deeply in this sacred time together, we will enter into a moment of meditation and quiet reflection. I invite you to find a comfortable position, whatever that feels like for your body this morning. To relax your head and neck, soften your gaze, or close your eyes. I invite you to notice your breath again. As we enter the quiet and not the silence, breathe gently with these words to companion you by Thich Nhat Hanh. Breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness, which unites your body to your thoughts. Whenever your mind becomes scattered, use your breath as the means to take hold of your mind again. May it be so. I would now like to invite forward Bob to sing for us his song entitled Gratitude.
By the way, Wildcat says hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Maybe I'm checking now. Now it is. Thank you. We good? I can be thankful for the myriad blessings I have seen, for the sad times and the joyful ones and all the others in between, for the sunshine and the simple things that seem to come my way. But I can never be thankful enough for this day, naming all the countless wonders I have ever viewed. There is only one conclusion that I can conclude. Casting aside fear and doubt, what it's all about is gratitude. can be thankful for the beauty of a secret place, for the marvel of a lightning bug or a smile on a friend's face, for the simple joy of watching the children at play. But I could never be thankful enough for this day, naming all the countless wonders I have ever viewed. There is only one conclusion that I can conclude, casting aside fear and doubt, what it's all about, what it's all about is gratitude. I can be thankful for the ones who choose to share their love with me, and for other ones less fortunate who find it hard to see that nothing will ever change the world till we give our love away, for it's a gift to live each and every day. Why is it so hard to possess a heart of thankfulness? Why is it so easy to hold on to the pain? It's time to confess, my spirit knows what's best. Time to let love reign, naming all the countless wonders I have ever viewed. There is only one conclusion that I can conclude, casting aside fear and doubt, what it's all about, what it's all about is gratitude.
Thank you so much, Bob. When I first attended a UU service, it was in the 1990s, and I walked in to the University Unitarian Church in Seattle because my godmother was giving the sermon. I was not a huge fan of religious services. I grew up in a Jewish family in a small Protestant New England town. I embraced the aspects of Judaism that revolved around the home. I identify as a Jewish Unitarian Universalist and host a Seder at Passover and make latkes at Hanukkah. My Jewish grandparents lived in New York City, so I came to love the world of lox and bagels. And a couple of weeks ago, I just discovered that where to get the smoked whitefish like I used to eat at my Ima and Abba's apartment. But there was no nearby Jewish community in our little town, so we went to synagogue only twice during the year to observe the high holy days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The synagogue we went to was 90 miles away. The services there were very long, all-day affairs, mostly in a language I didn't understand, and with music that brought me down rather than lifted me up. I sat in that crowded synagogue for what seemed like and was hours and hours with my family in my good clothes, feeling restless, bored, and unconnected to the crowd of strangers surrounding me. So, other than weddings and funerals, I hadn't been to a religious service since I was a kid. Walking into that first UU service for me at University Unitarian Church, I was 35 years old, a fully baked adult with a young family. I went by myself, a break from my family, my spouse Nick, my preschooler Max, and my baby Sam. I knew no one at the service, and I knew I wouldn't actually get to hang out with my godmother until after the service. I entered the church prepared for an hour plus of somewhat annoying goddaughter duty that would be tempered by the fact that my godmother would have something interesting to say. I came out astonished. I had found my religion. I had found my people. I didn't even know I was missing them. I had no idea there was a religion that held the beliefs I hold. I understand that each person is on their own path and has their own experience of God or not God. That there is no one God that is the right God, and I believe we must collectively share ethical, moral values and make them real in this world. And wow, it turns out there is a religion I can be part of that I don't need to dance around the beliefs I don't hold. I can be a Unitarian Universalist. And despite that bizarre mouthful of a name, it holds my realities to be true. Wow. I felt at home at that church, even though I didn't know a soul, even though I am a Jew. In 1912, a sociologist in France, Émile Durkheim, described something that happens in religious services. An intense electric energy and sense of unity that people feel when they gather for a shared purpose. Durkheim called it collective effervescence. He said that this synchronicity of emotion, this collective effervescence, makes individuals feel joyfully connected to something larger than themselves. I think it's a very cheerful term, collective effervescence. I feel it when I'm with other UUs. So imagine this. You are entering a giant, giant room at a big, big, big conference center, and it is full of thousands of other Unitarian Universalists. Really. Thousands of UUs all together in one room, all in the same religious service on Sunday morning, singing the same hymns, listening to beautiful music and a moving sermon. That happens each year at the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly, the annual meeting of the Unitarian Universalist Association. The Unitarian Universalist Association, the UUA, is our UU denominational body. Its website calls it the Central Organization for the Unitarian Universalist Religious Movement in the United States. It is made up of all the Unitarian Universalist congregations that join it. At EUC, we choose as a UU congregation to belong to the UUA. We support it financially, and it provides us with all sorts of resources From the OWL curriculum in religious exploration to the crisis team that helped us a bunch of years ago when we had an emergency, to the people working with us today to help us through the process of finding a new settled minister. The UUA's General Assembly is a sort of giant congregational meeting. Only in this multi-day meeting, delegates from congregations all over come to gather, discuss, and decide upon the important business of our denomination. You might be asking yourself, that sounds difficult. How does that work? Well, it can be very messy and very beautiful, and sometimes sort of shocking, and kind of wonderful, and all at the same General Assembly, which we lovingly refer to as GA. GA is happening, just finishing today, this year. It was at the GA a few years ago that UUs gathered to discuss and vote on changing our UU bylaws, changing us from the 7 principles, which some of you might know about, to the shared values statement, which we read each Sunday morning in our welcome. It took years of discussion, discernment, and input before we, the delegates to the Unitarian Universalist Association at the GA in 2024, voted to adopt the new shared values statement. UUA bylaws require that we actually look at our what is essentially statement of faith every 15 years. It is one of the wonderful things about being part of this denomination that the reality that our faith is indeed a living, changing thing. I was an online delegate for EUUC the year that the amendments to the proposed statement were being considered. The online discussion was rich and varied. Weirdly, even in the online forum, I felt some of that like collective effervescence. We were doing something together with shared purpose, something very meaningful. And I like theology. One of the threads of discussion was, did we think we should add peace as an additional value to the 6 plus love that we have? Another was perhaps, rather than generosity, we should say gratitude. Wasn't generosity, after all, a subset of gratitude? So it was like these serious discussions. Ultimately, the discussion landed that gratitude was a subset of generosity. The final language of that particular one of our values is generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. The words of Article 2, adopted in 2024, begin with these words. They are essentially our statement of faith. We covenant, congregation to congregation and through our association, to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Inseparable from one another, these shared values are interdependence, equity, justice, transformation, pluralism, and generosity. I feel really lucky. I work with many UU congregations around the country. I work as a Unitarian Universalist stewardship consultant. And over the past almost decade of this work, I've helped about 50 UU congregations with all sorts of things, from capital campaigns to strategic planning, from visioning to mission writing, from annual giving to budgeting. It is actually the best job in the world. I get that feeling of collective effervescence in every board meeting I attend. Not kidding. The people across our denomination are amazing. When I am visiting a congregation that's planning a building remodel, I can ask them about whether they're moving to all-gender bathrooms. The responses have changed over the years. I can learn from a congregation all about the challenges and rewards of installing geothermal HVAC. When I interview congregants for a financial feasibility study for a capital campaign, I get powerful lessons in generosity. A couple shared with me that they were going to give their full inheritance from the sale of the family farm to help fund the new RE wing at their congregation because, in their words, they had enough living on their pensions as retired school teachers. Another gentleman told me that he had canceled all his plans for a very long-awaited, carefully saved-for trip to see a tennis match in Monaco so that he could donate the total cost of that trip to his congregation's renovation. And possibly my favorite story is that a young family shared that when they talked to their kids about what their family would give to the new elevator and accessibility upgrades at their congregation, the kids volunteered to give up their Disney Plus channel membership for the 3 years of payment on their capital pledge and contribute that money to the campaign. And I gotta say, I love that they were even talking to their kids about their money, their budgeting, their gift to their congregation. Yep, woohoo. See why I love the work? And just to share a little more of what I've seen in our congregations just this last year, that we have families, young adults, and all sorts of folks pouring through our doors pretty much everywhere. They are seeking intergenerational community that shares their values. While they may not have a ton of time to volunteer for the traditional committees and stuff in congregations, they are there and they love what our communities offer. Shared values, shared purpose, active ways to engage together in making the world a better place. Congregations struggle with finances, mostly because they believe in fair compensation and good benefits for staff. And while those costs go up and up by leaps and bounds, in the past couple of years, most people actually have less and less disposable income. That's a big challenge. And our congregations, when they're creative and agile and able to make change, they are meeting those challenges with the power that a community with a collective sense of purpose has. Collective effervescence. Remember the story Cindy was reading about Wally? When Wally took a hint from his cat, Murphy, and laid down and paid attention to his own breath. I actually think being together with other UUs has that calming, centering effect. The collective effervescence, shared purpose, community, they all make us calmer, happier, and healthier. And in these terrible, difficult, frightening times, we need each other. Yes? We gather in this place to feel centered, calmer, and encouraged by the fact that there are so many others, good people who center love in their lives, who are working working together to resist oppression and the fascist wannabes that seem to be running our government right now? So come back with me to General Assembly for a moment. There are a ton of activities over the course of the days of GA, and when I go, I regularly attend a breakfast hosted by the Meadville Lombard Theological School, a seminary where many of our UU ministers get their Masters of Divinity. It's a Unitarian Universalist divinity school, and I'm a big fan of our divinity schools. More ministers learning from us, UUs, yes. Anyway, on June 24th, 2022, at the GA in Portland, Oregon, I was heading into the Meadville Lombard breakfast. It's usually a room that can accommodate maybe 50 or so folks, 50, 70, like tables around, round tables, carpeted, corporate-y conference center room. As I walked in, I wondered maybe I shouldn't be there. The vibe was really strange. But I decided to stay, and I got my coffee and a little food on a plate. Imagine small, bad croissant, underripe melon, some grapes, and plopped myself down at what I thought was the table at the back of the room, and it turned out the speaker was at that table, and it was in fact the table at the very front of the room. But after I sat down, he asked me, "Have you heard?" And I said, "Heard what?" Then he shared that just moments before, the U.S. Supreme Court had overturned Roe v. Wade. And that was a moment I had to remember to breathe. What I remember about that morning was that there was a sense of shock. Some were in tears at breakfast. I was shocked, not really knowing what to think about the unthinkable. I couldn't have been in a better place for hearing terrible news. Surrounded by my people, UUs. Nothing happened exactly as planned that day, not at the breakfast where the speaker had to throw out their planned talk and extemporaneously call us to love, to hope, to action. And not at the larger meetings, because we collectively had a need to acknowledge the heartache and pain and grief together and find our way to hope. In an impromptu rally in Portland that day, UUA President Reverend Susan Frederick Gray spoke for us when she said, "I am filled with holy fury," and called us to the struggle and to solidarity. She cried out, "There is a Holy Spirit within us, one of courage and power. We will not be silenced. We are in this struggle together, and the spirit of love and justice is among us. We will not stop fighting until we win." May it be so. Amen. Ashe. May it be so. A kind word or a thoughtful act, like a pebble dropped in water, sends ripples out into the world. Should you wish to make a promise or let go of one, remember someone, release a little pain, forgive yourself or someone else, or mark an important event or occasion in your world, please step forward and quietly send your thoughts outward as you drop a pebble into the water, mingling the ripples of your intention with the ripples of other people in our community. During this quiet time, and as the beautiful music plays, please feel free to come forward and place a pebble in the water, approach by the side aisles, and return through the center. I'll begin by dropping one pebble for those whom we wish were here with us today, and another for all those who wish they were here. May it be so.
And now for our offering. If you are new to our congregation, you will notice that we do not take up a collection for the operations of the congregation. We chose many years ago to support our congregation by making generous pledges of financial support that we pay month by month, year by year. Instead, our Sunday offering is dedicated to going out into the world to support organizations doing good works that align with and extend the mission of this congregation, gathering together, nurturing the Spirit, living our vision of a just and sustainable world. The June cause of the month is the Pink Haven Coalition. Pink Haven is a collective of organizations and individuals who are committed to trans liberation and joy and to growing community defense, mutual aid, and alternative systems of care for gender diverse people. Right now, in the Western Washington area, Pink Haven has folks staying in private homes, a tiny village, and a cooperative housing situation. They need support for housing costs and mutual aid funds that support people until they can be established in a new career and in their new homes. Thank you to Carolyn for bringing this organization back to our attention. You may donate using the QR code or go to the EUUC website and click Donate. For those of you here, there are baskets out in the narthex through the doors underneath the screen on the wall. As always, thank you for your generous donations. We now invite you to rise in body or spirit as you are comfortable to join us in singing our opening hymn in the Teal Hymnal 1028, The Fire of Commitment. The words will also be projected on the screens. Friends, if you're here in Chapman Hall this morning, you are welcome to gather with us and socialize after the service. Please go out the double doors at the back of this hall, grab a hot beverage, and join us for coffee hour. We'll be here out in the narthex where you can get your hot drink, and out in the playground with all the kids of all ages. Finally, we give thanks to all of you who make this Sunday service and the work of this congregation possible. We are so grateful to you. I want to thank Rachel
And Cindy.
Thank you, Rachel, for all of your time and dedication to Edmonds UU and to the UUA and beyond. Thank you, Bob. And thank you, Randy, for helping out. Thank you, Cynthia, AV. Thank you, AV.
Cynthia and Julie.
Cynthia and Julie. And all of you again, thank you.
Yay.
Please join me in the words on the screen as we release the flame of our burning chalice. We release this flame,
But not the light of truth,
we release this flame,
but not the warmth of this community,
we release this flame.
but not the fire of commitment.
These we will carry in our hearts until we meet again. The service begins as our service ends. Go in peace, practice love. Amen.